Welcome back to McDougal Productions. The next deep dive into the Buffalo Bills is going to look at the divisional loss to the Chiefs and try to answer the question: is their O-line good, or does Allen make them look good? How does Allen like for the offensive line to play versus how do they actually play? And look into to see if there's any personnel changes that need to happen this offseason. So let's take a look at these plays and try to figure it out. To start, we have the second and long pass to Diggs in the first quarter that was incomplete. We have Allen in the shotgun with a clean pocket. He stands strong in the pocket and delivers over the middle to Diggs, who isn't able to make the catch. So let's take a look at this. Both the tackles are leaning, which makes it a lot easier to get them off balance and get past them, but it works this time. On the inside, the right guard Torrance handles his one-on-one, and the center and the left guard double-team Chris Jones and keep him from pushing the pocket. Allen has plenty of space and is calm in the pocket, delivering a great, amazing throw. The next play we're going to look at is the third and long lateral play. Here we have Allen in the shotgun. The O-line lets the rushers come in, leaving a wide open lane in the middle, and fortunately for the Bills, the refs didn't call the forward pass. But the Chiefs didn't challenge the play either, probably because it ended up in a fourth down. So let's take a look at this play further. Focusing on the right tackle Brown, he pops out of his step, absorbs the hit, maintains contact, and lets himself be pushed back a little, but is not being driven back. Right guard Torrance and center Morris come off the snap, double team Chris Jones, which you will need to do almost every single play. In this play, the left guard and left tackle lose their blocks, but to be fair, left tackle Dawkins is expecting the end to continue rushing into him and not to have Allen scrambling up the middle. Luckily, Allen is able to escape and throw the pass to Johnson for a big gain without being tackled. So not the best blocking execution across the line, but there are some positives to be had here. Let's talk about the proper blocking form. Offensive linemen are expected to kick back and embrace contact, holding the rusher back but not standing still, slowly moving back, holding the pocket so that way the quarterback can move around the pocket as they need to throw into open windows. Proper hand placement for linemen is really important. When pushing with your elbows in, they have a lot more power than if your arms are out to the side. Allows them to not get pushed back by the pass rushers and move bodies better in the run game. We can see that across the board that they have good hand positioning, except for the left guard who misses on contact and has to quickly recover to having a free rusher in Allen's face. In terms of body positioning, linemen want to have their body over their knees so that way they're balanced, and rushers can't pull them either forward or push them avoid back easily. So let's keep that in mind as we continue to analyze the rest of the plays. This pass to Kincaid is another amazing example of a great pass blocking rep across the board. Here we have a clean pocket, Allen stands in there tall and delivers to Kincaid on the corner route. So how is it that this awesome throw is able to happen? Well, as good as Allen is outside the pocket, here he is delivering a dime on time, and how is he able to do this? Well, it's because he has a clean pocket that he's confident is going to stay up. And so if we break this down, the offensive line stays low as they engage with the pass rushers so that way they're not easily pushed back. They keep their hands on the inside so they can deliver with power. And it really helps to keep the pocket intact so that way there's great blocking and an on-target throw to the tight end. So let's take another look at this. You really want to look at the helmets here, but all the other linemen are low in their stance so that way they can deliver power while being balanced in their stance. The saying with linemen is always low man wins, and this just shows just how true this is. It really allows them to keep pushing back against the pass rushers without getting knocked over. Alright, so let's do one more passing play before we switch over to the run. This one really shows the great pockets the Bills had early in the game. Here, actually, the broadcast angle shows it a little better. So, Allen comes back to pass, the pocket is great, and gives him plenty of time to survey the field. So why was the pocket so good here? The leverage is amazing. All of the linemen are low in their stance, are willing to absorb contact and be walked back slowly, but are not driven back. The hand placement is good across the board, and the Bills employed David Edwards as an additional blocker, probably because they were thinking the Chiefs may be bringing pressure, which actually they did very little this game. Just like most of the game, the Chiefs defended deep down the field and left the short routes wide open. Because of the great pocket, Allen is able to see if someone breaks free downfield, lets the defenders sink even further into their zones, which allows Johnson to grab the check down for a great play. So now let's fast forward to the fourth quarter, where the offensive line play changes, mostly because of the way that the Chiefs were playing defense was different. They were much more aggressive and making sure to blow up plays, even at the risk of maybe getting caught out of position. So here in this first play, we have what looks like the left off tackle run out of the eye, but it's blown up and Cook tries to cut it back looking for a lane and is caught for a 3-yard loss, making this drive start behind the sticks. Alright, so not a good start, but why did this happen? If this is a power play, Cook is trying to run between the guard and tackle, but look at McGovern's hesitation in engaging the linebacker. Rather than taking a direct line to him and either driving him back or kicking him out, he steps forward initially and then has to correct and block him lateral to the line of scrimmage. Nick Bolton is an awesome run defender and he isn't going to be knocked off the spot that easily. The very next play in this series is a short pass to Shakir for a small gain on a 2nd and long. Here we have Allen in the shotgun, the pocket is condensed around Allen, and instead of being able to stand up in the pocket and deliver the corner route like it was in the first quarter to Kincaid, Allen instead checks it down to Shakir, who is almost hit immediately after making the catch. So let's take a look at the blocking on this play. Brown is one-on-one with the end, who is giving up ground, but is not being driven back into Allen. We also have a double team block by Morris and Torrance, leaving McGovern one-on-one against Chris Jones, who is driven back almost right back into Allen. Allen thinks about breaking out to the left, but when he sees Chris Jones right there for the sack, he quickly turns to deliver it to Shakir. Dawkins is initially leading to keep contact with the defensive end, but recovers quickly, regaining a balanced stance, and keeps his opponent from rushing the quarterback. So when we think about the O-line overall, there are many good points, but giving double team protection to Torrance leaves Chris Jones with a one-on-one matchup with McGovern, who is just not able to stand up against the bull rush, leading to Josh Allen having pressure up the middle, the type of pressure that most quarterbacks do not excel against. Now I understand the thought behind the double team of the defensive tackle, because by giving Torrance help, it allows Torrance to peel off and help Spencer Brown, but by leaving Chris Jones single teamed, is very difficult to go up against, especially late in the game when offensive lines start to get tired. Offensive line play is really difficult to pull off consistently against good defenses because 3 or 4 of the matchups can be executed well. But if one O-lineman misses, it requires a dynamic play by the quarterback to escape pressure and make a play downfield. To finish up, let's talk about one of the most talked about plays in the days after the Bills' loss, the attempted touchdown pass to Shakir with less than 2 minutes remaining. This play has Allen in the shotgun, solid protection across the board, except for Dion Dawkins, who gets bull rushed right into Allen. So let's go ahead and break this play down. Allen takes the snap, starts scanning the field, and let's stop the video right here. As you can see, Chris Jones is making no attempt at all to do any pass rush moves. He is just bull rushing Dion Dawkins. And once Dawkins is put off balance, even getting lower than Jones isn't going to do anything. He is driven right into Josh Allen right as he goes to throw. Now let's compare this to the third quarter, where Chris Jones and Dion Dawkins were lined up one-on-one. Now if Jones does blow Dawkins back, McGovern is right there to help out. Alright, so let's take a look at his stance. He is much more balanced than he was on the Shakir play, able to push back against Chris Jones, and while he can pull him forward to get Dawkins off balance, it is way too late in Allen's drop back and the ball has already been delivered before he could set up his pass rush move. So what did we find out about the Bills' offensive line? This year was a huge improvement from last year. Bringing in McGovern solidified the line by locking down the left guard spot. So what are their weak spots going into the 2024 season? First, let's talk about the left side of the line. Dion Dawkins is a veteran lineman who has been solid for the Bills, but some issues with technique leaves him unbalanced and easy to bull rush or throw off his spot. Although he is able to recover when he is out of alignment, if he can clean up some of those things in the summer, he will be in a better position to defend against both the bull rush and pass rush moves and be able to deliver more power rather than defending space. This was going to allow him to return to his top tier left tackle status that he had in previous years. Okay, so now let's talk about McGovern. He's a solid pass and run blocker, but his first step in hand placement isn't always the best and limits his ability to be delivering power rather than reacting to pressure. The Bills' offensive line philosophy tends to lean towards having Morris help out Torrance on double teams, regardless of his opponent, and it may be a change in mindset that is needed. Later in the year, Torrance really did well locking down your average defensive tackles, but just like all linemen, will struggle against Chris Jones in one-on-one matchups. Because of Morse's age, he may not be able to come off double teams as quickly as he used to, so having him either remain engaged in a double team with the best interior rusher, or single up a defensive tackle so that way a guard may slide over to double team the end when that is the biggest threat, may be something that the Bills look into this year. Regardless, an investment in center and left tackle in the draft may be something that they need to evaluate for performance, longevity, and cap reasons. In some ways, Torrance may have been the highest performing lineman this year for the Bills. Now, how much of that is scheme and having more slide over to help him in the pass and run blocking, only the Bills know. But I think that he performed well enough to have him helped with double teams be matchup dependent and not necessarily an offensive line philosophy, down in and down out. Now going over to Spencer Brown, he was much more consistent when he was put on an island against the Chiefs, and he performed well. Just like any other player, there are reps that he missed, but he performed well enough for Allen not to be affected this game. If you look at the throws that Allen was affected the most, blame could not be attributed to Brown nearly as much as the other linemen. His technique is not always on point, but just like Dawkins, he has the ability to recover, while also delivering power to resist the push from defensive ends. He improved drastically this year, and if he continues to improve through 2024, he may just play himself out of a contract for the Bills next year, making having a potential starter in either tackle position that much more important. So now let's answer the question. Is the Bills O-line good, or does Josh Allen make them look good? There's no denying that Josh Allen saves the day on certain plays when the protection breaks down and either scrambling or he throws off platform. But let's not forget, Josh Allen plays well against pressure when the back 7 defender is vacating a spot or assignment, but not when he is getting pressure in his face from the D-line. When the interior D lineman can get pressure, it allows the ends to play a spot and not to allow Allen to escape outside the pocket, which makes his best ability rolling out of the pocket and throwing to an open receiver in a scramble drill that much more difficult to complete. Part of the Chiefs' success against the Bills' offense in the second half of the divisional game can be attributed to the Chiefs realizing the finesse pass rush moves are not working against the O-line. So let's just power them towards Allen and make him make passes in a condensed pocket and push back the blockers in the run game, making James Cook less decisive, leading to losses. Other coaches will no doubt look at this game and adopt a similar approach, either as the game plan or during halftime adjustments if the Bills cannot counterpunch. Whether it is with delayed screens or planned dump-offs or bubble screens or other kind of types of plays to counter this type of defensive approach, it's something that the Bills are going to want to look at this year. Considering that Joe Brady has to operate someone else's offense this year with those checks and alerts instead of his own or something that he would want to do, it's noteworthy that the Bills were a missed kick away from possibly sending the game into overtime and a missed throw from possibly winning the game. Next year, if Joe Brady can continue to grow and game plan around some of these limitations with the O-line, the Bills will have a very good outlook in 2024. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the offensive line, what needs to get better, and what the Bills should do to plan for the future. And we will see you in the next video.